Hello, I'm Morris Ruddick. I want to share with you some insights into a subject I'm very passionate about. I want to talk to you about Jewish business secrets. So let's begin by talking about foundations that need to be recovered in a global business setting. Culturally, I'm an American. Spiritually, I'm a Christian. Yet without the true foundations of culture and our faith, we lose the focus and the grand design, the purpose intended that forms the basis of who we are, our identity, our gifts, and the purpose or destiny that we are on the earth to serve. In a troubled world, masked by illusions, by spin artists who dominate the media and internet, our paths in life represent a journey in search of what is real, what endures, and what we should be giving our focus to. It involves perspective. It is perspective that determines your future and your destiny. So during our time together, you're going to learn that the Jewish perspective is different. Jewish writings indicate that the hidden things are the stuff of kings, but that the secrets revealed are the heritage of the Jewish people. Getting past the illusions, determining what is real, will open the doors to a better grasp of who we are, our identity, and our destiny. Gandhi once commented that he considered the teachings of Jesus to be beautiful, yet his caveat was that if he could only find one real Christian. Gandhi's claim was that he liked Christ, but that the Jesus followers he had met were unlike Jesus. His observation is a reflection of what the world sees in the faith that believers put in action. Yet if we go back to the foundations, Abraham was viewed as a prince by the sons of Heth, one of the dominant societies in his region. The powerful king Abimelech's response to Abraham's son Isaac was, "We see that the Lord has been with you. Let us make a covenant that you do us no harm." 2 generations later, Pharaoh's discernment of Joseph was, "Can we find such a man as this, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" What Jesus imparted was not a philosophy or new religion. It was a dimension of reality bridging the natural and the spiritual. It was a reality, a thresholding God that impacted everything. Jesus was imparting a very Jewish perspective. This reality that bridges the natural and spiritual is foundational to everything we do in life. This reality is foundational to understanding Jewish business secrets. It is the context for this series. We'll begin by outlining some of the factors pertinent to this culture of business navigated by the people the world has accepted as being a people of business, the Jews. Over the millennia, the Jewish people not only have succeeded in retaining their cultural identity, but with disproportionate achievement have served as catalysts and influencers to the civilizations that would rise and fall around them, like the Greeks, the Romans, the Assyrians, the Ottomans, the Babylonians, and many others. Historically, in civilizations without a middle class, the Jewish people have served that function as merchants and bankers and people of business. They have been advisors to kings, rulers, and leaders, and have financed national agendas in the societies in which they lived. Yet, as a people, Jews have been distinctive. As a people, they have released nuggets of wisdom from the roots of their culture that have impacted the foundations economically, governmentally, judicially, and morally to influence what is now considered the good and enduring virtues and values within Western civilization. So today, despite being only 1/4 of 1% of the world's population, since 1950, Jews have been the recipients of 27% of the Nobel Prizes awarded. Studies such as the Golden Age of Jewish Achievement and Startup Nation attest to their modern-day contributions. Statisticians would view this as beyond chance expectation. In short, Jewish strategies have resulted in them outliving, as a people, the civilizations of which they have been a part. The keys to this remarkable phenomena lie in the restoration of the foundations and its long-term enduring model. So what then are these Jewish foundations? From the early days of God's people walking with Him, this reality of God, seen through His people, was recognized and acknowledged with awe as God manifesting. This dimension, this corridor of walking with God, incorporated the knowledge of God with His ways, His truth. It was this dimension that Jesus referred to as the kingdom of God. It is both the gateway and pathway into knowing God. It involves what Jesus referred to as abiding, or the process of abandoning ourselves to become one with God. This truth came from the foundations of what Jesus referred to as the law and the prophets, which He noted He had not come to change. They are foundational. A highly respected social economist has uncovered some unique insights into these dynamics in his examination of economies and cultures in the book Trust, Social Virtues and the Creation of Prosperity. Francis Fukuyama contends that social capital may be as important as physical capital. Dr. Fukuyama holds that only societies with a high degree of social trust will create the foundations needed for the large-scale business organizations that compete in today's global economy. Nevertheless, large-scale organizations are only a part of the equation. Former Cambridge University entrepreneurial expert and author Bill Bolton stresses the importance of the creative and innovative dimensions which drive economic opportunity and the dynamic of entrepreneurship. The challenge lies in the foundation of the economic structure. While the West has repeatedly gone through a process of reinventing the venture capital and accelerator investment models for fast growth organizations, investment trends can be fickle and at times abruptly cyclic. The reality is that without a firm foundation of entrepreneurship with community-level businesses, the economic structure will eventually soften and become top-heavy. So in wrapping up this brief introduction to Jewish business secrets, I want you to view this as a journey that we're taking together. We're going to look at foundations that fit into three categories: the spiritual, the entrepreneurial, and the community, and how they relate together. What I'm outlining, you're going to see, is a way of thinking. It taps the creative. It bears on your gifts, which we'll also talk more about. But more importantly, it significantly impacts what we each call our destinies. In this series, some of the highlights we will be addressing include both very practical and foundational issues like the foundations of the enduring elements of ancient Jewish secrets, the model of the God-centered entrepreneurial community matrix. We'll be talking about the gifts, the natural, spiritual, and entrepreneurial gifts that combine to release destiny. We'll be talking about the culture, the enduring mantle of a prophetic cultural identity. We'll be talking about entrepreneurship and God's economy to create, innovate, build, and multiply. We'll talk about the gift of community, God's protection, and the edge to overcome adversity. We'll talk about spirit planning together with God's guidance. And we'll talk about stewardship, the role of generosity, planning, and mentoring to bring increase. We'll talk about the creative advantage, practical elements of harnessing the creative, and disproportionate success, trickle-down blessings in the process of dominion. And we'll be talking about community building, the Jewish strategy for success and destiny. So as we unfold these elements of Jewish business secrets, we're going to be covering practical foundations of what were missing in the lives of the Christians that Gandhi had encountered. This is Morris Ruddick. Until we meet next, let me leave you with some wisdom from the prophet Jeremiah. Stand at the crossroads and look, then ask for the ancient paths where the good way lies, then walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls.